Do you want crisp night photos? Well, here's what you might be doing wrong and how to fix it. So definitely one of the first things you can do to keep your shots crisp at night is use a tripod. I'm currently using the ArtSight CS80C carbon fiber tripod. I made a whole video on it. I'll link it down in the description below. Also on camera here, I have the Manbilly carbon fiber tripod. It's a little bit more of a lightweight tripod. I'll also put that one down in the description below. So what's a tripod gonna do for you? One, it's going to eliminate camera shake. Two, it's gonna prevent blurriness in your shots. And three, it's going to keep your composition. So as you can see, it's raining out here in Southern California, much needed rain. We just want to be on the balance of this rain because obviously mudslides are a problem up in those burn areas. So we certainly don't want too much rain all at once, but this rain is much needed here in Southern California. So thank goodness for it. As day turns to night here in my area, ISO is going to play a big part, a big role in your nighttime photography, always. But remember, you have the exposure triangle where you can work with your aperture and or your shutter speed to get the shots. For what it's worth, and all the shots that I've taken at night, having your ISO at the lowest possible setting that you can and that you're comfortable with will eliminate or at least reduce the digital noise that you'll have in your shot in the end. So therefore, you're not trying to clean it up in post. It's best to start that way. But again, as I said before, you gotta bump your ISO, you gotta bump your ISO. And also, it'll support your high dynamic range by maintaining your shadows and your highlights within your shot.
It's hard to leave with you still on my mind. To pack my things and leave it all behind. We better find out why we do the things we do. It took me some time.
Another tip to improve your nighttime photography, that's to try long exposures with your camera. That just means opening up your shutter and letting it go for 1 second, 2 seconds, 10 seconds or more. And what this allows you to do is bring light into the sensor without having to touch your aperture or your ISO. And this is a benefit because then if you have those two set where you want them, now it's just a matter of how long or time-wise you want your shutter to be open, and you're controlling that. And being on a tripod will help because now you can control the frame, your shot will not move, and you're bringing in light to your sensor, which is great because now you're starting to create some artistic shots now with movement of light and capturing that light over the span of time. So that's pretty cool. That's what I'm out here doing tonight. I can't shoot stars, so because of the rain out tonight and the clouds that are covering, but that's okay. Now we have a wet ground to work with and play with, and there's going to be light bouncing off the ground and things of that nature. So it adds a kind of ethereal aspect to your shot. So that's fun. So try long exposure photography to improve your nighttime photography.
It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you.
Whew. Let me get out of the rain there for a second. All right, your fourth tip for shooting better nighttime photos is to use bulb mode. What bulb mode allows you to do, oh, and if you do not have bulb mode, you can use an intervalometer. I have a whole video on shooting with bulb mode and shooting star trails and using an intervalometer. I'll put those links down in the description below. But nonetheless, using bulb mode allows you to increase the time that your shutter is open above 30 seconds. Most cameras have a 30-second length of time that you can shoot within manual, but using an intervalometer or utilizing bulb mode will allow you to increase that time for lots of minutes, like 60 minutes, 2 hours, 40 hours. It all depends on how long your battery's going to last. But nonetheless, trying bulb mode will increase the light and will allow you to capture that image that you want, especially if you want lights moving through it, especially stars moving through the sky, and then it'll capture those trails of light. And using bulb mode will give you that opportunity to do that, and obviously put more light to your sensor. And using that tripod once again will keep it all stable. So your fifth and final tip for shooting better photos at night, that would be to use manual mode over autofocus. And the reason is when you use autofocus, especially at night, we talked about having less light into the sensor. Well, things might start jumping around on your camera's focus because it just doesn't know where to go because there's not enough light in the sensor. Therefore, you want to lock in with manual mode and get that pinpoint access on that subject. And therefore, once you're using manual, you're locked in, no worries, you're gonna get that subject in focus. If you're shooting stars, you wanna lock into the furthest star in the distance, or at least a light that's way in the distance, and then it's gonna capture all that night sky and the stars as long as you want to leave your shutter open for. So those are your 5 tips for shooting better photos at night. All right, besides a few shots that I have left out here in the night, it's getting cold. I'm gonna go home and get warmed up. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like the video if you liked it. Love you. I'll see you on the next one.
It's all for you. You better listen now, 'cause I can say this one more time. It's all for you. I think that we should give it one more try. Give it one more try. It's all for you. It's all